So I finally arrived at the charging station here at the Vincom center here, and of course all the charging ports are used, and this has been a problem I think for a lot of VinFast drivers, because there's a lot of VinFast taxis, green taxis and other taxi companies using VinFast, and they are occupying a lot of these charging stations, and so it's pretty hard to get the car charged up sometimes. So we are going to just keep going, and today we're going to talk about whether you should buy the VinFast VF6, whether it's Eco or Plus. I have the Plus model here because I need more power. Should you buy the car? This is going to be the final verdict, all right? We have the full in-depth review video when I first received the car. We also have a video about 5 reasons why you should not buy this car and 6 reasons why you should buy this car. And this is going to be the final verdict video, whether I, Tom Peng, recommend you to buy the VinFast VF6 Plus or not. All right, let's get into it. I think you will be pleasantly surprised by my final conclusion, so listen to the end, okay? I'm pretty sure you're gonna be quite surprised by my final verdict. Let's go.
Take effing action, put it together, and subscribe to Tom Penn's channel on YouTube now. Yeah, I like it. It's crazy.
I really want to get a charging station. I want to plug this car in, and then we can like talk more intimately about whether you should buy this car or not. But it's so hard to get a charging station these days. Come on, I don't want to go to the basement because it's going to be all dark and you can't see me on the video. So what can I do? See, look, the charging station here all full, and it's green taxi, green taxi, green taxi, green taxi. Well, that one is probably Grab. That one is green taxi, another green taxi. It's all occupied by taxis. What about us regular consumers? We can't even get a charging station when we need it. So that's why, you know, maybe lately I've been driving more of my gas cars because it's becoming quite inconvenient, especially when I need to do a lot of traveling. I do meet customers a lot lately. I do about 300 kilometers of driving every day. I find myself, even though I should drive my electric cars, but I'm not, because I don't want to get into this situation where I cannot find a charging station, right? So maybe the solution is more charging stations. I don't know. Or I don't know what it is. Maybe some kind of quota on taxis using these charging stations, but maybe specialized charging stations for taxis. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is, but I do know that this is not a problem only for me. This is a problem for a lot of people. Oh, okay, there comes security, so I gotta go. I can't just stand here and wait for a charging station. So let's go home. Yeah, this is a problem. The problem that you can't find charging station. This, I'm pretty sure, is also dissuading many EV potential buyers to not buy EV because they see that it's hard to get car charged up sometimes. All right, so get into the final verdict, whether you should buy the VinFast VF6 Plus or not. All right, let's look at it this way. Does it have the performance? It depends, because if you're like me, this car is totally inadequate. All right, I need power, I need speed, and this car is pretty much average, slightly better than most gas cars on the road here in Vietnam, but it's pretty average. All right, so if this car is in North America, I would say it's a very average car. It does 0 to 100 in 8 seconds, which is very average, okay? Super average. So, you know, I would not buy this car for this performance. However, it's adequate for most people. So I cannot say don't buy this car because it doesn't have enough performance, because for a lot of people, this is more than adequate, all right? It's front wheel drive, and it does experience torque steer when you put the pedal down. So that adds the excitement to driving the VF6 in a negative way, not in a positive way. So as long as you drive the car normally, you're not gonna feel the torque steer, but if you do put the pedal down, you're gonna experience what torque steer is, and you'll learn how to mitigate that manually yourself. Most other car companies find ways to mitigate that through computer mimicry, or like Mercedes, they simply apply all-wheel drive to cars like their A-Class to mitigate the torque steer issue. Manufacturers have found ways to mitigate this, but not the VinFast VF6. You're gonna experience the torque steer in all its glory, okay? You know what I really want in the VF6 is a brake handle. Of course, this is an electronic parking brake, so no handbrake here. But I think with all this power, not too much of it, but more than adequate. And the handbrake, I think this could be a very fun car. You know, take the car to a track and then just do a 180s or even like 360s, taking the car down the straight runway and then pull the brake, and then the car would like spin. I think that would be fun. I actually wanted to try that. I actually want to make a video about that, but with the VF5, but I think the VF5 is underpowered, so I didn't do it. Plus, I don't want to die, okay? I have a little bit of money. I want to enjoy it, so so I did not do that. I was planning to, however. I was gonna go to the racetrack in Peng, rent the track for the day, and just like take the VF5 there, and VF5, not the VF6, VF5, and pull the handbrake and do like 360s or 180s and make a video of that for you. But no. So in terms of quality of this car, I'm happy to say that nothing broke since I had this car for 4 months. However, it does not mean the quality is excellent, because we do get a whining noise whenever we start the car in the front. Can you hear that? Can you hear that? I believe it's the fan. The fan in the front, maybe that's trying to cool the battery, and that fan is making a really loud noise that is quite audible and very annoying. So there's some good and bad about the quality. Nothing broke, good, but probably some of the components could have been better, like the fan, it could be quieter. So should you buy this car? Well, if we're talking about buying this car, of course price has got to be a factor, right? So in Vietnam, I don't even remember how much I paid for this car. I believe it's in the 800 million, but we buy the battery. We did not lease the battery. We chose the most expensive option, meaning that it's the Plus model, the top end, and we buy the battery. I don't want to do any more battery lease, right? Because it doesn't make sense. My company drivers drive a lot, I drive a lot, so we just buy the battery and we're just gonna drive the car to the ground, okay? Drive until it dies. And that's why we don't choose the battery lease option anymore. At $800 million, it's still quite an affordable car for what it offers. And I think it's a pretty good value here in Vietnam still. Of course, there's a lot of gas competition. For $800 million, you can get a lot of different options in the gas world, right? In electric world, there's nothing, because in Vietnam, there's only VinFast, okay? But there's a lot of gas competitors, but I would say it still is a pretty good option, because it gives you more power than the gas competitors. It's electric, it does have good appointments, good features. So I would say it's still a quite good option. In the US market, of course, VF6 is not available yet, but it will be available. And it's rumored to start at $25,000, maybe top out at $30,000. And I would say that's a great value, okay? That's a really good value. I don't know what will happen in the future. I know that Tesla is working on a ultra cheap electric vehicle to introduce to the market. So maybe that will compete with this car. I don't know. But for $25,000 to $30,000, I think this is a great option. This is a great option. And it's quite affordable. And I think it has a place in the market, even in the US. Even though there's a lot of choices of EV in that market. I'm not so confident that when you compare feature to feature that this car is gonna win out in any kind of car review, because there are some really good options like Ioniq 5. There's a lot of good options in the US market. So overall, would I buy this car knowing what I know now? I would say in Vietnam, for me, the answer is no. This car is just too average for my taste. If it's in the US market, I mean, the answer is still no, because there's many other options that are, I think, more attractive than the VF6. So sorry, VinFast, the answer is no. I would not buy this car again. But that's me, okay? That's me, Tom Peng. It doesn't mean that you should not buy this car, because we have different use of vehicles and requirements of vehicles, and my requirement for a car is very different from your requirement. And I think this will make a great car for somebody who want to get into EV but don't want to buy a VF5 because it's too small. You want something bigger than a VF5 and you want electric and has a bit of power to play with, then I think this may be the right car for you. Do care about the range, because, and then this is another thing I want to talk about, and that is if you care about the range, get the VF5, all right? So there's like 3 cars that are very close in terms of spec, and that's the VF5, the E34, and the VF6. And of the 3, I pick VF5 any day, all right? VF5, even though it's a small form factor, it's a small car, but it has good range, and it's also problem-free. And I think it's the best all-around car, all right? The E34, I would say, is still better than the VF6 because it has an electric trunk. This one doesn't have an electric trunk, all right? And you get about the same range. The VF E34 compared to the VF6 Plus, same range. I just, like the 3 cars, I would pick VF5 or the E34. I would not pick this car. So in the Vietnamese market, even comparing VinFast, I would not buy this car. So yeah, I don't think I have anything good to say about VF6. Shit, I probably should shut the fuck up, right? But it does have one good thing going for it, and that's the styling. The VF5, the E34, and the VF6, the styling is definitely better on the VF6. So if you want to look good, buy the VF6, all right? So, I mean, buying a car is a complex decision. There is like no one factor that rules it all, and there will be people that prefer the VF6. If you care about styling, if you want to look good, if you want to drive the most modern looking VinFast, then this is the option, right? But if you want to be more utilitarian, you want to care about range, you want to care about performance, not this one, range, not this one, okay? I think I've given you enough feedback for you to form your own decision whether to buy the VF6 or not. For me, again, the answer would be no, all right? Take some fucking action. Look into the VinFast VF6 Plus. Maybe it's the right car for you, maybe it's not. I don't know. It's up to you. Don't be a fucktard.